Hello Toby, welcome to this first lesson on web development, right? So for this first lesson, I've not really, just like mapped out what how the procedure will actually just be taken, but I have a list of what we should just do later on. But for today, I just want to introduce you to everything we are actually going to be using throughout this course or just lectures or something like that. So intro, first lesson, web dev, right? And welcome to learning web development with Shell. So before we start, or rather, since we have started, I just want to, when you just start, we said I'll be giving you the videos, and later on you actually be coming to my place, and we'll be taking some of the maybe more like advanced topics, and maybe just going through them and more like practice on days you'll be coming over. So you can see here I just highlighted three stuff: web dev, web designing, and web development and programming. Okay, so web development is just building pages, links, websites optimized for the web. Yeah, so the web is just the internet or www, something like that. And when it comes to web development, everybody kind of has the is it, or should I say, area of field they can actually divert to. So some people are more concerned with like programming for it or just building website. Some other are concerned with SEO. I don't know if you have heard of SEO. That's just like maybe you are trying to build a website and actually blog on it and just have try to optimize it for Google and stuff like that. But that's pretty much what web development is. Now when it comes to web designing is more like using some advanced tools to try and just animate the web and maybe animate a website and stuff. You can use stuff like JavaScript. I just kept JavaScript here now. So not just JavaScript though, a lot of other more like advanced programming and stuff. And you can actually use some other tools that are directly graphics, more like CorelDRAW. That's an old version. There are so many new tools now, but something like CorelDRAW, Paint, and maybe just more like import those stuffs into the website. So that's something like web designing. And I actually don't know much in that because I have never done anything there, because someone that just starts off with web dev is quite, it's quite you can catch up with a lot of things later on and stuff. So now I listed this third one, web dev and programming, because something like we won't to start off though, we're actually going to be touching on those beginner languages, so I just kept main languages in web dev. And you can see when it comes to programming, the one pretty much that can be called programming is straight off maybe just JavaScript for now. So this HTML and CSS, we can't really call them programming language or something like that. But what I just mean here by web dev and programming is just more like when you go deep into it, you find out that some people don't even they don't use these two tools or software directly. Most people just use some sub, because this CSS now it has some sub software or libraries converted that just does some more advanced stuff. But when it comes to web dev and programming, you see stuff like JavaScript, jQuery, and a few other languages though. But we should just start off with this web dev, which is quite important and just open you to a lot of other stuff that you can just do on your own. So now, main languages in web dev. Later on though, I just feel like even though I try to say what I want to say, just try and teach you the best. I'm not really keeping track of the more like a structured way to just take it off one by one, but I would say I'll still come back to to say a lot of other stuff as we just move on, giving you these videos, and maybe coming over here I'll just be saying a lot of other stuff. Yeah, so the aim of all this is just just give you tips, not just tips like when you're actually learning something yourself, you have to just spend a lot of time gathering information. But when someone is teaching you, they can just give you the already learn stuff, the time they spent, just gather the helpful resources, right, and just give it to you, right. So it's more like I'll be giving you those tips, but there's nothing structured to it for now, because I'll just be coming back at any time, so I can just introduce you to a new software or something, and everything will just be aimed to actually help you get started faster, because instead of wasting all those time, I'll actually just be giving all those software and stuff. So like I said, we'll be looking at the main languages, which will be HTML and CSS. But instead of going off to JavaScript, we'll actually be taking off something called Bootstrap, because that's quite helpful. I will tell you everything about it when we are done with this, but it's actually another package. That's why it's not included here. But before JavaScript, because JavaScript is quite more advanced, so I just want to take it in a way that you actually have everything you need to maybe start building website or whatever like that. But so you can see now, yeah, this I said we'll be using some software, right? Some software, you have to install them on your PC. And so but actually this one right here is called CodePen, and it is more like an online web dev environment or something, so it's not something you have to install on your PC. But actually be using it, and maybe when we are doing some other stuff, I can just, there are a few other software that are quite for offline coding. You can either connect to your maybe GitHub account or stuff, sync your progress directly, and a lot of other good software like that. And like I also told you, real-time collaboration, yeah, it's actually called collaboration. So when two people are just trying to build something together, right. So yeah, I'll also be getting into all those. But this CodePen is just like, you see, you can just come on here, create an account, right. Everything you actually just type into this HTML tab, right. It gets rendered as HTML, and then we also have here CSS, then JavaScript. But I just took off this part just so we focus here, right. But this is just HTML, and you can see everything is actually rendered here. So I don't want to actually go into the tags, right. Okay, you don't even know what tags is, but let me just touch on HTML and CSS, for now. So yeah, the full meaning of HTML is hypertext markup language. So hypertext markup language, the main where there is more like markup. So instead of programming language, actually a markup language. And what it means is that it defines the structure of a page. That's what that markup kind of means. So markup is how is the page built, how are the elements positioned or something like that. So that's pretty much what HTML is. And should I go into history? But I don't think anyone needs all this history. But briefly, just HTML has been around since 90, I guess 80 or something, or 1989 if I'm not wrong. And then it has kept on evolving. So they just kept on adding more advanced tags, and these tags actually do more advanced things. But I keep on using tags because, let me just tell you, all this thing you can see enclosing the words, you can see my welcome to learning web dev with Shell. I enclosed it inside this stuff here, and those things are called tags. So that's the main building block of HTML markup language. So that's pretty much HTML is. It defines the main structure of how a web page would render or something like that. Yeah. So come off to CSS, and the full meaning of CSS is cascading style sheets. Let me just Yeah, so that is the spelling or something like that. Yeah, you know. So looking at it, that's just well, that's the full meaning. But in simple words, what it means is that it styles a web page. It styles it. It gives it it makes it look beautiful. It gives it form or something like that. So color, it adds color. It adds custom positioning, because HTML can just give it regular positioning. That's how it is defined from HTML. But if you want to change how all the elements are outlined or something, you can use CSS, and then it does a lot of other things. Naturally, you can't have a website without using CSS, because nobody's just going to like it. It can look beautiful, and so that's CSS, what it means. And these two practically the most important, and I should start giving you we should start talking about HTML CSS in the next video, or when you come over. So I would next one I'll actually will talk about how to the basic tags, because I told you HTML has evolved. So we'll talk about how more like the tags that were early on invented or introduced, and how later on, as more versions of HTML came, some new tags were actually included. These new tags that were included could do more advanced stuff that previously we couldn't do with on a web page. Like maybe take camera info, or more like add a video to a web page or stuff like that. So but definitely we won't just look at those advanced tags first. We'll first touch on the simple tags, like how to create a paragraph, how to create a bold text, how to create a list of items, and just kind of stuff. And we'll actually I guess also look at CSS. Yeah, also look at CSS and just simple type, and we'll look at how to add a style, a styling to a particular HTML element. We call it element because they are what makes up a web page, because now this tag here is called an element, and this other tag is also called an element, HTML element. So we'll look at how CSS or cascading style sheet can help us actually edit, or well, should I say use edit, or design a particular HTML element. So that's it for this first lesson though, and everything will actually be perfect. For example, I don't know, I'm looking into the software to use for recording actually. So I guess my volume should not be quite stable, but don't worry about that, because I'll just keep on watching it and just see how to actually improve on those things, and just make everything else better. And you actually become over here, so doing some more physical lectures, right? So yeah, that's just it for this first lesson, and there wasn't much we talked about, but we just introduce all these quick terms, right? And maybe I should just also write out the hyper text mark language, so you can see the exact words I was referring to when I said hypertext markup language and cascading style sheet. So that's the end of this lecture, and I'll see you in the next video.